Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about sinus congestion. This is something that my husband struggles with. Anytime there's anything in the air or he starts getting a cold, it always goes to his sinuses. And he was the biggest skeptic when I got these oils. He told me, oh no, it's a nonsense. So I just created roller bottles for my daughters and they started using the oils. And about 3 weeks in, he came to me and he asked, can you make me anything for my sinus? So I thought, no, that's fine. I made him up a roller bottle and he put that on. And about 10 minutes later, he came back and he looked at me and he says, wow, this stuff works. So ever since then, he's been using these oils and also been sharing them because it has really made a big difference in his health. So by using the oils, we are reducing our toxic load. So instead of using antihistamine or nose sprays, we can use this natural plant-based oil. So I just actually looked up the side effects of antihistamine. Now let me just actually read it to you here. Side effects are drowsiness, dizziness, dry mouth, nose and throat, a headache, an upset stomach, and constipation. No, seriously, we are actually just trying to relieve our sinuses, but yet the side effects is all those things. So then you going to want to use something for all those things that it has caused. So instead we use the oils. It's natural, it has no side effects, it's fast acting and effective. So it has really benefited our family using these oils. So today I'm going to share with you 6 oils that is good for sinus congestion or any sinus infection, anything. And they are number 1, peppermint. Now peppermint we spoke about yesterday. It has a cooling and menthol properties. So you'll be using that in a blend just to help cool any, when you have sinus, it's like that throbbing and that heat that you have, it'll help for that. Then eucalyptus. This is more, I don't use all these oils in a roller blend, but this would be one that we'd use. In eucalyptus, there's a chemical compound called 1.8 cineol, and that is an expectorant. So that is used for systematically treating mild inflammation, any respiratory issues like bronchitis or coughs. So if that sinus congestion has started going into the chest, I will add this, the eucalyptus, to the blend. Now, melaleuca or tea tree, this has antifungal, antiseptic and immunostimulant properties, and we're using this to reduce the inflammation and any swelling within the nasal cavities. That is what the properties that we'll be using in the blend for this sinus. Then also we have oregano. This is one of my husband's favorite oils. This is also a hot oil, so you'll never use this directly on your skin. You'll always dilute it because it can burn your skin. So this is also used as a natural antibiotic. It's antiviral, antibacterial, and we are using the antibacterial properties in here. So it can fight any bacteria that is actually causing this sinus congestion. Then we have lavender. I'm sure everybody knows lavender. This has calming and soothing properties. So we're using this for that itchiness in the nose, to just calm and soothe that. And it's also great for stress, to assist with sleep and any skin irritations, scrapes, bruises. This is a great oil to use for that too. And then we have rosemary. Rosemary is it's antimicrobial, it's a decongestant, and it's also a stimulant. So we're using it for its antimicrobial properties in this sinus blend to destroy and inhibit any growth of any pathogens. As a decongestant, it's great for coughs or any cold and flu symptoms. And then as a stimulant, it helps support any mental and adrenal fatigue, and also focus and memory. It also helps for that. So that's also a great oil for children when they're writing exams or doing projects that you need them to concentrate. That's a wonderful oil to use. So those are the 6 oils that is great for sinus infections. And what I do with all my blends that I make is I add frankincense. Now frankincense is all-round oil. It's great for your cellular health. This oil is also oil that can pass the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier, and it's great for all-round brain health. And I always add this to all my blends. So I won't use all the blend. I won't use all of these oils in a blend. Just depends on what properties I want. But the ones that I do use always in them is, which ones? Would be rosemary, oregano, and melaleuca, and then the frankincense. Those are the 4 that I would use. And then depending on the others, is it very scratchy and itchy, I would maybe add lavender, or if it started going into the chest, I would add eucalyptus. So you can always adjust your blend according to the actual symptoms and need. You also notice that all the oils have quite a large variety of properties in them, and they kind of also overlap. A lot of them have the same. So there are lots of oils that can kind of do the same thing and be used. So you'll always have an oil that can treat something, and you can blend them together to get the best effects for what you are trying to use it for. So what we do is we just use a little empty roller bottle that has like that, and you'll put in some fractionated coconut oil or any carrier oil. I sometimes use, because I use sweet almond oil in my practice, I usually fill that with some sweet almond oil, and you'll put your amount of drops in there and you'll shake it up, and then it's ready to use. This is actually, I couldn't find our sinus blend, so this is our little tension blend. I just put a little label on there and I put what oils are inside of it, and then it is ready to be used. You can roll it at the back of your neck, behind the ears, on your chest. Depending, my husband's quite happy to kind of roll it over his sinuses. He doesn't wear makeup. So either for the ladies, quite easy, just behind the neck or where you can inhale it. And that's it. That's how we treat any sinus related or congestion with those oils in a blend. And not always all of them, just a couple of them. And yeah, we use that for like 3-4 times a day, depending on how bad it is, for 3-4 days. Usually by then all the symptoms have been alleviated. So that is the oils that we use for treating any sinus congestion and issues in our family. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I just want you to remember that growth happens when we're in a place of discomfort. And obviously this whole lockdown isn't very comfortable for most of us. So, take this opportunity and look at what you can do to grow, if it's personally or professionally, through this time. And we'll chat tomorrow again. See you.